Hello and welcome. This is your accounts teacher, Mr. Saurabh Pradhan, and today we are going to discuss partnership. Okay, so this is the very first chapter of your accountancy. Okay, so as you can see on the board, it is written there, Partnership Act is given there. Okay, so according to Section 4 of Indian Partnership Act 1932, this definition is been provided. So as you can see on the board that the partnership is an agreement between persons who agree to share the profits of the business. Okay, so this is the definition. Now let us bifurcate this definition and understand what this definition actually means. Now here the first thing is given that there is an agreement. So one point that we have to focus on is agreement. Okay, agreement is the most important point in any partnership. What agreement means? Agreement can only be done between persons. Okay, there has to be at least two persons to do the agreement. Maximum, if you will talk about how many maximum person can enter into the agreement, then it is around 50 persons. According to Companies Act 2013, there are maximum 50 numbers of persons that can enter into the partnership. Okay, so according to Companies Act 2013, maximum limit is 50 persons. Okay, so in order to form a partnership, the minimum number of members should be at least 2 according to Partnership Act 1932, and the maximum number of persons will be 50. This limit cannot be exceeded. If this limit exceeds, or some partnership organization exceeds this limit, then the business becomes illegal. Now let us understand what are the other aspects of partnership. Okay, so definition covers most of the important aspects, but let us now understand word by word what each of these particular word means. Now here it is said that profits are shared. Okay, so one of the very important characteristics of partnership is that you have to share the profits. Okay, if profit sharing motive is not there, there will be no business. Okay, the law recognizes only those businesses that has some profit motive. If the profit motive is not there, there will be no business in the eyes of law. Okay, so this is one of the most important aspect, that profit motive has to be there. Without profit motive, no business can be done. Now the next point is mutual agency. Mutual agency means that since it is a formation of group of persons, partnership is a formation of group of person. So one partner can act as an agent, and the same person can also act as a principal of the firm. So this is one of the most important aspect of partnership. So let me write down these points one by one. So the first thing is that we have discussed agreement. The first thing that we have already discussed is agreement. There has to be agreement. The second aspect is mutual agency, which means the partners can act as an agent of the firm. Okay, the firm is the principal and the partner who are working for the firm are referred as agent of the firms. Okay, so this is what you meant by mutual agency. And another thing that is meant by mutual agency is that it is a formation of group of person. The third aspect is that we already have discussed is profit motive. Profit motive we have discussed briefly, but now I will give you some of the details of profit motive as well. See, profit motive has to be there in any business, because if there is no profit motive in the business, that business is not qualified to be called the business. Okay, so profit motive has to be there in the eyes of law in order so that the business can be called as the business. Okay, the fourth one is relation of partners. Okay, so relation of partners. So what is the relation of partners with the firm? Okay, relation of partners with the firm. See, relation of partners with the firm is quite important aspect of partnership, because some of the partners in the partnership firm may be active and other partners might be inactive or sleeping partner as well. So these are some of the categories of, or you can say the type of partners that may be in your partnership firm. So the partners which work actively in the partnership is known as active partner. Okay, so the relation with the firm will be established according to what a particular partner does in the partnership firm. If the partner is active in the partnership firm, then it is known as active partner. If the partner is not working, it is only interested in the shares of profits of the partnership, then he will be either called sleeping or dormant partner. So these are three types of category that are covered in your syllabus. So that's why I have discussed this. Now, the another relation is every partner can act as an agent of the firm. Okay, any partner can act as an agent on behalf of firm. Okay, in this case, since the partner has become the agent, now if someone is agent of something, there has to be principal also. So in this case, as I have said, any partner can act as an agent on behalf of the firm. The firm becomes the principal and the partner who is acting becomes the agent. And most probably in every case, the partner that will be there, which will work as an agent, will be called as active partner. Okay. Now, these are some of the most important aspect of Partnership Act 1932. Now we will discuss the accounting procedure. Okay. Now we will discuss the accounting procedure of how the profits of the partnership are distributed among the partners. So first of all, the accounting treatment starts from the preparation of profit and loss appropriation account. The partnership has done some businesses on which it has earned some profits. Now, that profit will be distributed among the partners. Now, in order to distribute those profits, the firm prepares profit and loss appropriation account. So let us first of all understand the format of profit and loss appropriation account, and then we will proceed with some of the numerical questions as well. Now, format, or I will just write profit and loss appropriation account. See, it is quite simple T-shaped account. Okay. It is a nominal account because all the expenses, or you can say all the profits that are to be distributed, will be written on the debit side, and everything that the partnership firm has earned will be written on the credit side. Okay. So after doing the business, what the partnership firm has earned, the partnership firm has earned profits. Okay. we all know that in the case of nominal account, the profits are always credited. So first of all, the profits will be written down here. And we are putting this profit from profit and loss account. So the entry will be by profit and loss account. Whatever your profit may be, okay, you should write it there. The profits are always credited, so that is the rule which is being followed here. Whenever you prepare any nominal account, always remember that the profits has to be written on the credit side of the account. Now, let us now distribute this particular profit in the partners. So, we should understand some of the most other important aspect of the partnership here also. See, when the partners perform some duties for the partnership firm, they take salaries, they take commission on the basis of sales, and they also sometimes transfer some of the profits to reserves. So these are some of the things which will be distributed, okay, in the profit and loss appropriation account. Always remember that wherever you see the word appropriation, it means distribution, okay. So if there is some profit and the partners are also entitled to salaries, then to salary account, okay, to salary account. Let's say the partnership firm is also providing the interest on capitals of the partner, okay. So if in the deed it is mentioned that the partners are entitled for the interest on capital, then that interest on capital will be shown here. I am writing the short form of interest on capital, okay. To interest on capital, let's say there are partners A, B and C, okay. Now, in case of salary, maybe all the partners will draw the salary, or one of the partners will draw salary, or two of the partners might draw the salary. That will depend on the nature of questions. In this case, we will distribute interest on capital, whatever it may be. It will be provided to you in the question, and you have to provide that interest according to the question, okay. Now let's also clear that confusion, that why it is a profit for the partners. Interest on capital is always a profit for the partners. Then why it is debited? That question might have arisen in your mind. See, this account is prepared according to from the point of view of firm, okay. For the firm, since firm is paying to the partners, so it is an expense for the firm, and this is the reason why the firm is debiting all this. It is a profit for the partners, but for the firm it is a expense, and the rule says that all the expenses are debited, okay. This is the rule for nominal account, and that is why it is written on the debit side of the profit and loss appropriation account. Now, interest on capital is also distributed. Now let us assume that the partners, some of the partners or one of the partners are entitled to commission on the sales. If some of the partners are entitled for commission, then that commission will also be reflected here. So, to commission, whatever it may be. One more thing that I want to clear here is, in the case of profit only, all these things will be distributed. Fine. Suppose if the partnership firm incurs losses, in that case, all these items will not be reflected here, okay. If there is some loss, then the loss will be distributed among the partners directly, okay. Even if in the partnership deed it is mentioned that partners are entitled to interest on capital, partners are entitled to salary, or partners are entitled to commission, but if there is loss, then the loss will be distributed in the partners according to the profit sharing ratio. All right. Only if there are profits, the partners are entitled for salary, interest on commission, interest on capital and commission. Okay. Now, apart from this, there is another point, that is reserve. See, reserve you will not find every time. Okay. Reserve you will not find every time. If in the partnership it is mentioned that some part of the profit will be distributed or will be sent to the reserve, then only in that case only the reserves will be there. So you should distribute the reserves also. Okay. So this is, I think, let's move on to the next page and complete this account. See, so up till salary we have seen, up till reserves we have seen. Now, after distributing all those points, after distributing the interest on capital, commission and reserve, still there is some balance left in the profit and loss appropriation account. Now, all that balance will be transferred to partners' capital account, and we should give the entry according to the provisions of nominal account. Okay. So to profit transferred to capital account. Okay. Let's say we have three partners, A, B and C. Okay. So this is the final ending of your profit and loss appropriation account. Okay. Thank you very much for the